8:43.
Basically, this generation is more liberal, more tolerant, more Democrat-leaning than the one before. It's not just because they're young.
For another point of view, it's Hard News with Russell Brown and Wammo on Kiwi.
There's Russell Brown from publicaddress.net, the Hard News blog, also the Media 7 show, TVNZ7. Good morning to you, Russell.
Good morning.
And it sounds like there's no saws going on in the background. Is the renovations finished?
Pretty much. There's a little bit of electrical work needs to be done, and we haven't got our Cat 6 cable through the house, but it's pretty nice.
Does it mean there's extra actual rooms in the house?
Yes, there are.
That's got to be nice, spread out a bit.
Very nice, actually.
Yeah. Does it mean an office for you?
No, my office stays pretty much as it was.
Okay.
But there's a lot more deck, and there's a new living area, and it's actually really rather lovely.
Yeah. Well, you get to a certain time in life, where you need this. You need to do stuff like this.
Yeah, exactly. And we've sat around. Our children are now basically are becoming adults, and 4 adults in a house our size wasn't going to work. So. Yeah. Yeah, just don't ask me to do it again.
No, indeed. But you went to a house of another kind, really, a fake house, to the Outrageous Fortune expedition at the museum. Yeah, the launch of the exhibition. Yeah, exhibition. Which they've been, pretty much since the series ended. They've been saying, "Hey, wait for this exhibition," and I really do think it's a great thing for the Auckland Museum to have done. And I think it's really appropriate that they're actually recognising popular culture, in particular the television industry, because it's actually such a big part of creative Auckland. So they did it with the Outrageous Fortune launch last night, and I think it was one of those ones where they invited a lot of people and everyone turned up. Yeah, right. Okay.
Which was great, and it was as lively and as you'd expect, and people were tossing back the drinks as well. But the exhibition itself, what we had to let the crowd go through, is kind of fascinating. If you're a TV geek, one of the first things you see is a whole lot of the original scripts and character descriptions, and the Bible on certain characters. And amongst that is the script for the Van and Munter pilot that TV3 turned down. Oh. And it's absolutely tantalising. Is it? Because it has them waking up in the dark, and then both agreeing that they both appear to have their pants around their ankles, and they're being anal probed in a spaceship. And you can't look at the next page. So that's really good fun. And you do actually get to go into the lounge, as seen on TV, and you can sit down. Yeah, right. I think this is one of the best things about this exhibition. You can take pictures to your heart's content, and you can sit down. Yeah, that's cool. And we did that, and it was actually really fun. Yeah. It's really nice to sit on that couch and go, here we are. Drink a bourbon and Coke? Yeah, and how if, so many people sit down on the couch that it wears out, I'm sure they can find another one. Yeah. I think good on the museum and on the producers for doing that, and it was nice to see a few of the cast members there as well. There was another odd one. We were sitting there in the lounge, and I looked up and I thought, man, that member of the public is doing a great Draska tribute. No, it's Draska. Cool. Well, that's really cool. So that's on until what, next year or something? Yeah, this is on for quite some time. Oh, that's great. And I have to say, in quite a different vein, I went and saw the Ron Mueck exhibition at the Christchurch Art Gallery. I'm going to go see that in January. It's just stunning. Just go. Yeah. The thing that everyone can see about them is the kind of hyper-realism of these sculptures. And that works because it kind of just breaks down your intellectual defences and lets you get at the kind of big emotional statement that's in each work. It is extraordinary. I wandered out the door and just was a bit silent for a while. That's cool. Are there quite a few of them? Because I know he has. There's 13. Quite a lot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. From small to large. Yeah. Very large. So. Great. I'll look forward to that. Also, being this time of the year, every year for the past few years, you've done the public address word of the year. Yes, indeed. And the word of the year, which Dennis Welsh couldn't say on national radio, is Twatcock.
Twatcock.
Twatcock or Twatcock. The community is pretty much split down the middle on how that should be pronounced.
I prefer twat, I think.
Yeah, well, there you go. Some people say, it's... But anyway, the idea was to achieve a, sometimes you do need a crude sexual insult, but ideally have one that's not gendered.
Yeah, right.
So Tom Beard, one of our Wellington readers, in a stroke of brilliance in a public address discussion, came up with Twatcock or Twatcock.
Okay. Well, he's putting you on the spot. Who was the biggest twatcock of 2010?
Well, the word was actually invented, was coined in a discussion of Paul Henry. So I put it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Word number 2 was vuvuzela, and then liquefaction, and then number 4 was WikiLeaks, and number 5 was the Icelandic volcano that I am not going to attempt to pronounce.
Yeah.
I thought one interesting thing was that a hashtag from Twitter got in there at number 9, EQNZ.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the earthquake hashtag, of course.
And still used when
still used.
referencing
and the interesting thing
aftershocks.
is that was unofficial. It basically became the official hashtag by virtue of being used.
Yeah.
Which was fascinating. It's actually interesting down in Christchurch. I think the rest of us tend to forget.
Yeah, we do.
That most of the stuff still hasn't been cleaned up. Big parts of Manchester Street.
There's still buildings disappearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And I went to David Hayward from Public Address's house and stayed with him. And their house is fine. They've got the green notice, but there are points there where you can stand, and if you stand still, you realise that the floor is sloping away from you, or it's dipping away. It's and you sort of realise that the whole house, it was like some big hand came up under the house and twisted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that actually gave me a real idea of what had happened, actually, I have to say.
Make you feel a bit nauseous, really.
Yeah, it would make you feel a bit awed, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so there's that, and another Media 7 show this week looking at the gaming industry in New Zealand.
Yeah. Which will be... it is interesting because you would think, given the kind of things that we're good at in New Zealand, and the pride we take in our creative industries, but basically meaning screen and music, whether there is scope to develop video game development into being a more significant creative industry. So we've got someone from Joss Ruffle from She Interactive, Stephen Knightley, who's a real mover and shaker. Organises the Auckland Game Developers Meetup, apart from anything else, and Kyla Colbin, who people may know from the social media scene.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so that should be an interesting show tonight, and then there'll be we're recording it tonight, on tomorrow night. There'll be a Media 7 extra where people get to have a play with Move and Connect from the audience, so that should be fun.
Cool. No competition there, it's Connect.
You reckon?
Yeah. Oh, just as a future-proofing technology, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously amazing.
I've had a play with it one time.
Yeah.
It's amazing how exhausting it can be for those games where you have to run, though.
Yeah. Or a punch. That's full on. Have you played boxing?
No,
Give that a go.
No.
That just wears you out. One bout of boxing, you feel like you've done it.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But just a note to that about the gaming industry. What would be helpful would be to bring this ultra fast broadband to the main centres before it reaches Tauranga, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that?
Yeah. Exactly.
We could do with it in Wellington and obviously Auckland, where the business and cultural and creative hubs are.
Yeah, quite. I think we could definitely do with it in Auckland more than anywhere else, actually, because at least Wellington and Christchurch do have some cable there already.
Yeah.
But yes.
That's bizarre.
Oh, well, that's something we can discuss on the show.
Yes, indeed. Thanks very much, Russell.
Right, cheers.
Russell Brown at publicaddress.net, also the Media 7 show, TVNZ.